said, the culture we have is not people feel good about themselves. And you have to be strong enough to say, the culture doesn't work, don't buy it. These are the lessons of a dying man, Maury Schwartz, in Mitch Albom's moving bestseller, Tuesdays with Maury, written as a tribute to his former teacher. I'd like to focus my message today around the words of this profound, yet simple man, but first let me welcome you. Wow, the whole class at once. Oh my gosh, it's a teacher's dream. We're here for one last lesson, right, graduates? Just like old times in the classroom, except this time you're listening. This is the biggest class I've ever taught, and I hope this doesn't give Mr. Kleinhans any ideas for appropriate class size. I want you to know that I am touched beyond words to be asked by these graduates to address the class of 2011, and welcome all of you honored guests today to this momentous celebration of their journey and accomplishment. This is indeed a special day for me personally as well as professionally, as I grew up and went to school in Lakeland, and I'm also a Lakeland graduate. Now my daughter sits among the graduates, so to say the least, this is a special group of young people to me. I've watched so many of you grow up, struggle, find your way. I've gone to school with some of your parents, seen you at church, teased you in class, cheered you on in sports and clubs, watched movies with some of you in my PJs, celebrated with you when you received your Native American names, cried with you when you lost your beloved grandparents, consoled you when you had your first car accidents or suffered through a painful breakup, and even encouraged you to pull off that amazing senior prank on Mr. Bechet's new Mustang. I thought I edited that out. Does anyone have a pen? I'm so... Sorry, Mr. Bechet. Sorry. I could give you names, but I only have first names, and I don't know how much hope that would be. There was this guy named Colin, and Tucker, and some real punk named Bruno.
Does it have any meaning to you?
All kidding aside, I hope you're guys okay.
I know. It's a really way.
I see the wood. When I sat down and began to think about what I wanted to say to you graduates today, I knew that it had to be personal because you have trusted me with your hearts and taught me so much about the value of personal relationships in your life and how devastating loss or absence of those bonds can be. You are growing up in an ever-changing, fast-paced world that doesn't wait for anyone. So much of our focus goes into getting you ready to face that challenge, but first and foremost, you have to ask yourself who you are as a person. As Maury Schwartz said, we live in a time where you receive mixed messages about who you are, what is expected of you, and who you should be or become. Some of you have been blessed with loving, supporting, nurturing relationships that have sustained you and will continue to sustain you in your times of need. You have come to school every day knowing that you can and will succeed. Have choices about where you will go to school, have a car to drive home, a hot meal waiting, and a check on the counter for dance class. Life is good, and you can't wait to see what's around the corner when you walk out of Lakeland High School today. But don't forget, others have had some of these advantages, some of the time. But I've also struggled with relationships or finances or balancing school and jobs or all of the above. Many of you have risen to these challenges, and I applaud you for your dedication and resilience. Still others have experienced more hardship, loss, or tragedy in your 18 years than any of you deserve to endure in a lifetime. You have struggled with fragmented and dysfunctional relationships that may have left you doubting the people you should feel closest to, disinterested or disillusioned by school, cynical about your prospects for success, or discouraged by the future and the dreams that seem to always be just out of reach. What I marvel at continually are those of you students that face these daunting roadblocks every day, yet shatter those obstacles, refusing to believe you cannot achieve your goals. You maintain a vision of hope that inspires me and others to never count you out. Just from having lived more years, if I can leave you with any lasting truth today, no matter who you are, no matter where you have been, it is this: you must believe, you must know, you must live one truth in your hearts and in your actions with unwavering conviction. That person you look at right now to your left, go ahead. That person you look at right now to your right. That person you look at every day in the mirror. Each one of you, regardless of the road you have traveled, has great value, a purpose, a mission to complete. Your existence is no accident. Each of you is a unique piece meant to contribute to a world that needs your passion. Only you can discover, develop, and share those unique qualities by giving of yourself and honoring the good in others. Maury said, so many people walk around with a meaningless life. They seem half asleep, even when they're busy doing things that they think are important. This is because they are chasing the wrong things. The way you get meaning into your life is to devote yourself to loving others, devote yourself to your community around you, and devote yourself to creating something that gives you purpose and meaning. This was the moment that I realized why you asked me to deliver this speech today. You craved one last lesson, one last analogy to demonstrate the metaphorical significance of a classic piece of literature. So who am I to disappoint you? Ray Bradbury's timeless futuristic novel, Fahrenheit 451, echoes Maury's sentiments. No groaning. Everyone must leave something behind when he dies. A child, a book, a painting, a house, or a garden planted. Something your hand touched some way, so your soul has somewhere to go when you die. And when people look at that tree or that flower you planted, you're there. It doesn't matter what you do, so long as you change something from the way it was before you touched it into something that's like you after you take your hands away. The difference between the man who just cuts lawns and a real gardener is in the touching. The lawn cutter might just as well not have been there at all. The gardener will be there a lifetime. Make no mistake about it. We want you to work hard, be educated, be successful, but none of these goals are possible without the simplest yet most fundamental truth. You are here to love and be loved. Maury said, the most important thing in life is to learn how to give out love and how to let it come in. We think we don't deserve love. We think if we let it in, we become too soft. But a wise man named Levine said it right. He said, love is the only rational act. You are always going to have people in your life. You have to let people trust you. You must first feel that you can trust them too, even when you're in the dark, even when you're falling. What you give to others will come back to you beyond measure. Don't be afraid to love. And don't ever believe or allow yourself to be treated as if you're not worthy of love. You are not here to judge. You are not here to accumulate wealth or property or control or power or self-pity or any of the other diversions that spin the needle of your moral compass. I talked recently to an LUHS graduate from a year ago, Rocky Gray, a student who struggled with autism, a disability that made every day at school a challenge, but he never gave up, and he continues to persevere and succeed. I asked him what he would say to you today if he could, and these were his words. Always give life your best effort, no matter what the difficulties. Make life worth living. Love, opportunities, and positive qualities won't just come to you. Work for it. Search for it, apply it, live it. Make it a reality with steady progress and reasonable goals, and through working and sharing with others. If you put your commitment and heart into it, the individual can achieve anything and defeat any obstacle. Look inside yourself, and there you will find all the power you need. Strength doesn't come from intelligence, genes, and money alone. Real strength comes from the heart, which gives human desires of many different kinds. Mitch Albom ends his book about Maurice Schwartz's life with these lessons. I look back sometimes at the person I was before I discovered my old professor. I want to talk to that person. I want to tell that person what to look out for, what mistakes to avoid. I want to tell him to be more open, to ignore the lure of advertised values, to pay attention when your loved ones are speaking, as if it were the last time you might hear them. I know I cannot do this. None of us can undo what we've done or relive a life already recorded. But if Professor Maurice Schwartz taught me anything at all, it was this: there is no such thing as too late in life. It is the men and women of your generation who will either reclaim a world of peace, honor, and prosperity, or watch it tumble into an uncertain future. Each of you, has the power to change lives, to heal hearts, to invite a climate of love, compassion, joy, and hope into your homes, your jobs, your relationships, into every aspect of your lives. I encourage you not to wait to see if someone else plants the seed first. Be the gardener. Make your mark. Believe you can. I believe